Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Nozz Reacts to Gate Season 2, Episode 23, King Crimson Edition. The anime part of it is on VidMe, linked in the description. Unless you already watched that first, because maybe you're following me on VidMe, or maybe you want to watch that first. I don't know how you want to do it, fam. You want to do it whichever way, I don't care. I mean, I'd like it if you hung out here with me first, and we could talk about some stuff. If you care about spoilers and shit, then hey, go watch that first. Anyway, so I just got done watching it, and that's on VidMe, like I said. And I have to say this was actually pretty fucking hype, and I actually do bring this up when it happens, but something that I think is really, really cool is that, my main complaint this entire time has been that this sort of matchup, a fantasy world versus a modern-day military, should be a stomp one way or the other. If the fantasy world has ready access to magic, specifically combat magic, and a good amount of mages that can use it in combat, like, say, Azeroth has in World of Warcraft, or, you know, or shit like that. Or if you have a world where magic, specifically combat magic, is very, very limited, or doesn't have practical battle applications, like, say, Lord of the Rings or The Witcher, for example. And bear in mind, that might have changed. I only played one Witcher game. And I didn't run into too many wizards, so I don't know how that changed in Witcher 2 and 3. I don't fucking know. But yeah, I've always said it should be a stomp either way. And when they first came through and I saw motherfuckers riding dragons and shit, I was like, okay, these guys gotta have some sort of magic shit, right? It's gotta be like some sort of high fantasy thing. But no, that wasn't the case, so I got really confused when they came through, and I was like, well, okay, then that explains why it was such a giant fucking stomp then. But at the same time, the Japanese were very fearful of these fantasy people and treated them with kid gloves, even though every time they got into an engagement with them, they fucking women and children women and children not in the lifeboats, women and children tossed over the side, you know? It's like, there's no even chance of the fantasy people winning, because they don't have, like, magic people in the fucking army. Like, the only place that has wizards ready to throw fireballs is Rondell, and, I mean, that they're on the Japanese side, because Lele is best girl. I mean, that's really all it comes down to. But in this episode, now that they finally have a chance to move on the Empire's capital and be like, yo, fuck them up, light them up, do everything. Why does this keep happening whenever I move my arm? The Japanese soldiers really don't seem to have any fear, and they're just walking through like Rambo, just blowing them away. And I really, really like that. And that's something that I think really should have been the idea from the start. I understand, like, not wanting to just genocide an entire people because they're savages, because, you know, that's kind of my people's thing. That's kind of my people's thing. Like, if they, you know, like, you really don't want to steal, appropriate British culture there, Japan, you know, like, leave that for the season where a gate opens in London, but it's still, like, and you still could have had the thing of, it's like, oh, we don't want to kill them all, but it's like, we literally could. But instead, it was based on a fear response, like, oh no, we don't want a war with it, we don't have the resource, nope, when they honestly do. It's really nice to finally see the kid gloves come off, and then be like, right, light them up, fuck them up. But that does unfortunately mean that there has to be something else that makes the story go and have stakes. Now, unfortunately, that means a lot of babysitting. And you'll see what I mean. And if you haven't watched the anime yet, you'll see what I mean. But Pina's Knights, Bozez, and short-haired girl whose name I forget, almost the entire plot regarding the actual... So Itami's barely in this one, by the way. Itami's barely in this one. It's all the soldiers and the Japanese military itself. It's big old nationalist masturbation episode, which, fine, go for it. I don't give a fuck. The whole conflict is babysitting them. In that they roll in, they take the West Gate, they start evacuating all of the Anthros and all of the nobles that are on their side, and every civilian that's like, oh, you know, fuck Zolzal, he's a prick. And then they go to the Jade Palace to get the Prime Minister and Sherry and Sugawara and all those out. And that's a really good battle scene. Like, you have Pina's Knights on one side fucking going hacking and slashing, and then the Japanese roll up from the fucking bushes and just mortar the motherfuckers. That's a really good scene. But what happens next is they're just like, hey, can you take all our wounded? Can you take all of these things too? Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you go save Princess Pina? No? Okay, we'll go do it then. So then they try and storm the fucking palace with just the two of them, because everyone else pieced the fuck out to go save Pina. It doesn't work, of course, because Zolzal's brought all the fucking troops back, and then the troops chase them to the Chinooks, and, like, the soldier says it the best. The commander, he says, oh, not with this bullshit! Ah! Like, in that tone of voice, too. He's just like, oh, for fuck's sake! And then he has to be like, right, guys, just light them up. Try not to hit the women. Just fucking light them up. Let them get here. And we're gonna take off. Oh my fucking god. Like, you know, like that sort of tone. And so the entire danger and the entire conflict is babysitting. It's like an escort mission, and it's literally plot-induced stupidity from Bozez, who up till this point has actually been a pretty rock-solid character, who I actually really, really like. But her fucking lady boner for Pina is just so thick and turgid today that it's getting in the way of her thoughts. Like, I understand she's very loyal to Pina, and, you know, they first discovered their love of homosexual porn together. I get it. That's a bond you can't break. But there comes a time and a place for it, and storming the Imperial Palace with two motherfuckers wearing just a set of decorative Maximilian plate, no. And speaking of Maximilian plate, so when they're riding away, so they're sharing a horse because Bozez's horse got fucking knocked the fuck out. So their horse accidentally gets shot by one of the Japanese and falls forward, and they get flung. Bozez and the other girl, whose name I'm forgetting right now. I should know it, but it's left my fucking head. The commander catches Bozez, and two other soldiers catch short-haired girl. They're wearing a full set of decorative Maximilian plate. Now, while Maximilian plate, to my knowledge, was and I'm saying Maximilian because it's a type of armor. It's probably not exactly, because once again, Maximilian plate was never really worn by women, to my knowledge. But Maximilian plate, I actually looked this up before, after the thing, before watching this. Maximilian plate weighed anywhere from between 50 kilograms to 60 or 70, depending on, you know, how big it was and how thick it was and at what time period you had it. And the main purpose of Maximilian plate was that it was supposed to be decorative, like for kings and nobles. So it has a lot of engravings and flutings and things that make it nice and big and angular and impressive. I do not see someone wearing, let's say it's at the lower end because they're women and they're smaller, right? Let's say it's at the lower end, and also because the main reason it reached 70 kilograms was because pistols were invented and they needed to be big enough to stop a bullet. Let's say it's, so that's 40 kilograms of plate, right? On top of, fucking, what's the average weight of women in kilograms? I don't even know. 100. So, oh Jesus, what is a kilogram? You just times it by 2, right? This is like 80 pounds, right? Something like that. I don't fucking. But correct me in the comments if my math is wrong. I haven't had to do conversions between metric and shit for fucking ever. But so 80 pounds of gear, not counting her sword, which probably weighs another couple pounds on top of that. But that's relevant at this point. So 80 pounds plus, like, let's say she's fairly muscular, right? Let's say she's fairly well built, realistically, because she has to be carrying around all that gear all the fucking time and then fighting for like 3 days straight. Plus 120 pounds of woman. That's a flat 200 pounds of woman being thrown from a horse, going at a full gallop, and just being caught by this guy with little more than a whee! Like, he fucking spins as he does it. Like, he fucking just spins. No, sorry, fuck you, that's not how that works. Like, the short-haired girl, she gets caught by, like, 3 dudes, and she has to take a step back and be like, oh, fuck, that's heavy. But then she's being carried by the one dude in the Chinook, which she very much enjoys, by the way. She's gonna want him to call her when she discovers mobile phones. And it just makes no sense, because these soldiers are also carrying 200 pounds of gear already, right? Because isn't that what like a soldier's pack weighs, like 200 pounds? Something like that? I don't fuck. Maybe that's fireman. I don't fuck. Same thing, really, right? But it's just really, really silly and goofy in an episode that, like, in a series where things tend to work the way they should work, at least as far as realistic stuff goes. Like, that just completely, like, took me out of it. Like I understand you want to make the soldiers look like big dick G's, but they're already fighting an enemy that literally has no way to properly fight back. So yeah, like, I mean, you can suck their dick harder, writer, but, I mean, do you really have to? They have a kill count in the fucking thousands now. Like, seriously, some of them motherfuckers, when they go to the afterlife, like, the fucking, like, what, was it part of the Japanese religion, Shinto, whatever fuck? Like, when you die, like, you meet the spirits of people you've wronged? Is that a thing, or am I thinking of, like, some made-up fantasy religion that was set in, like, a fake Japan? I don't know. But, like, they're gonna have, like, fucking deli counter take-a-number things when they die. Like, yeah, I was, the generic Roman soldier guy that you killed, like, fucking, way back when you were invading my homeland. Like, you shot me, like, right in the face. Like, he lifts up his helmet, like, back of his head's missing. Like, that was really not cool, dude. And, like, just going back from the line, you just hear cheers. I don't know. But yeah, so, I mean, the capital is basically blown right the fuck open. I highly doubt they've got any more fucking soldiers, except for what Zolzal has. Pina's still in prison, you know, doing her door-punching exercises. Yeah, it's all around a fairly good episode, just because it was just really, really dumb fun. Just watching something that I've been crying for since, like, episode 3, like, just shoot the bitches! Because that's really all they had to do. Like, there's no reason for them to have taken this long to just be like, okay, yeah, there's a despot, let's overthrow the motherfucker. Because, especially, like, when the actual emperor died, because he actually seemed like he was coming around. Zol's out, no, that ain't happening. Speaking of Zolzal, it does actually piss me off a little tiny bit about how dumb he is. Like, I don't know how much of Zolzal taking over was Zolzal and how much of it was Tuel, okay? But Zolzal at least seems smart enough to realize, hey, yo, there's something coming up here, maybe I can use it to my advantage. But now Tuel is actively giving him advice that is resulting in literally hundreds of his boys dying. And Zolzal's own military advisors, the 3 guys that were captured by the Japanese at Ginza, who should really know by now that the Japanese don't fuck around. Like, they should really be telling Zolzal, hey, dude, maybe we should, like, try and organize a ceasefire or something, because, oh boy, I don't want to go back into prison, man. They had this thing called soap, I don't know what to do with it. A guy told me to put it on the floor, I don't know what happened, man. Like, you know, like, they really should be at the moment where they're just like, no, we can't fucking win this. Yeah, like, Zolzal should be able to recognize that Tuel is playing him for a fucking fool now, and the fact that he's not is, like, it just weakens him as a character, and it makes him just, like, originally I thought, hey, this might be a good replacement for the Emperor, like, a more extreme version of him, but he doesn't have any of the Emperor's intelligence. The Emperor, at least, had the smarts, like, once he actually saw the Japanese in action, he went, okay, I made a mistake. I'm gonna try and work around this and not die. You know, but this is like straight, like, Kim Jong-un tactics. Like, if Zolzal had Twitter, he'd be fucking taunting the fucking Japanese Prime Minister on it. Hashtag no balls, hashtag Hiroshima 2. Like, Electric Boogaloo. Like, you know, like, it's, oh, God, like, it's, ugh. That's really all there is for it. Another thing is we once again saw, the dragons. The dragons be rolled out, not dragons, drakes, sorry. Drakes, they weren't big old dragons, they were little drakes. And they've just become so less of a threat, they were on screen for literally 3 seconds before they went, nope, bye-bye, bye-bye, big boy, you're going to die. But they also, shot them down over what looked like a civilian area, so I hope they evacuated that before they did that. Oh boy, that's gonna be something they gotta explain to high command. Oh boy. Everybody, yeah. So I mean, it was good episode. I look forward to the next one. It looks like the next one is going to be Itami's side of it, because what we did see of Itami, which was like maybe like 2 scenes, like one in the middle, one in the end, was him rushing back to the capital because he apparently figured out that it's under attack, oh wait, no, maybe oh, he heard about Pina. That's why, sorry. He heard about Pina in the last episode, so he's like, oh fuck, and he just happens to be going there at the same time they're lighting the place up, so he's in for a fucking surprise, isn't he? And he's gonna bring in the waifu platoon and free Pina and kill Zolzal, and that's the end of the series. Done and dusted. Anyway, so that's coming out. That's gonna come out next week because VidMe has that fucking video upload limit, and I upload like 30-minute videos. So yeah, that's I really need to get verified on VidMe. Fucking make sure you follow me over there and like comment and shit as well. That'll help, because the more comments and likes and follows, I think you need like 50 followers before they'll even consider you, and I think I have like 20. I don't know. Anyway, everybody, so thank you all for coming out to both the actual anime thing and the King Crimson edition. If you haven't watched the actual anime part yet, that's linked on VidMe in the description down below. And I will see you, specifically you know who you are, in the next video. But most importantly, I will see you a crown da Ru.
Damn, I love my waifu. 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 She ain't nothing like you. She don't bitch and egg me all the time up on her cycle. Damn, I love my waifu.